Verem, thank you so much for joining us.
It's my pleasure.
What makes you a smallholder farmer? Let's begin.
What makes me a smallholder farmer? Because I farm in very little quantity. That's what makes me a smallholder farmer. I farm sometimes, I started from less than a plot to a hectare of land now. So the smallholder farmer is the man that farms below 1 hectare of farmland.
And they seem to be in the majority as far as Nigeria.
Of course, when you equate and aggregate them, they are the ones that have constituted the bedrock of what you have as in agricultural produce right now in this country and the contemporary Africa. And that is what it is. The smallholder farmer has a lot of challenges. One, he doesn't have access to fertilizer. Given that in some areas the farmlands have been depleted over the years. Now, government is not doing very much as in opening up lands and creating farmlands for tillers and for those mechanized farming.
Can that and should that be left to government alone?
No, it shouldn't, because we are looking at corporations that would have come to assist in such. But this cannot just happen. It must be with the backings of the government. A smallholder farmer requires finance, and he requires the basic tools to farm. He needs the inputs, and the inputs are ranging from the herbicides to the agricultural implements to fertilizer. So when you have this and you have the implements, you can open up a better land, you can do more agriculture, and you'll be more focused and you will have gains. Of course, this is a chain of event, because we have, when you are producing, you are expected that you have an off-taker, somebody that will take your produce.
Yeah.
Now, the private sector is thriving though. Like you have the Grand Serie in Jos, which comes sometimes to come and mop up what is there. But Grand Serie alone cannot reach up to the interland. Recently, we have the Olam has coming in Benue, but they were not received very well, so they had to leave Benue, and right now they are in Nasarawa State. They have built a very gigantic factory there, which they would have built in Benue, given that what we produce in Benue is solid. It's better, more nutritious than any other place, because the soil there is of different texture and species given other states and things like that. And that is why the University of Agriculture was put there. But you see, policies are the bedrock of agriculture and economy in any organization, in any government. So when you have it, not just having the policies, but having
thorough implementation.
The thorough implementation is the supervision, the monitoring. You understand? You can, if you want to build a house and you are not monitoring the house, there is no way you will have a solid building to the specification that you want.
For you to strive in the agri industry,
exactly,
passion must be the center
You
stage.
must have the passion, one. And this passion comes with a decision of character. Who are you? What do you want for yourself? What do you want for your people? This is the basic thing. So if you want something and you want to grow a sector, you must have a program for yourself. My program is I want to develop the smallholder farmer, because I have been a smallholder farmer. And I know the pains of a smallholder farmer. I farm, bringing it out from that little place out to where I'll market it is another problem, because there are no roads. Do you understand? Now, I bring it, storage is another problem. Do you understand? So if I come, I have to look for somewhere to sell, and I have to go to the market. Now you go to the markets, there's a lot of taxation there.
We have a lot of silos around Nigeria.
No.
So when you talk about storage, why should that be an issue here?
I don't think...
In present day Nigeria?
No, I beg to disagree.
I don't think I'm aware of one state in Nigeria that does not have a silos facility.
They are basically controlled by the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and not the state in conjunction with them. We have one in Makurdi, and that's the only one we about have in our state, in Benue State. I'm referring to Benue State because that's the one I know. I don't know of Kogi too much. I don't know of Kaduna or Plateau State. But the one that I know in Benue State is owned solely by the federal government. Well, back in the days, I think my state governor, the first civilian governor, Aperaku, of blessed memory, he developed such. And he actually was going to turn around agriculture in Benue State. And the man started achieving results before his government was toppled.
Talking about sustaining food security and agribusiness, Are we in any way serious?
It's tough to say, but because the last government that just passed before this very one came, and it came with the noble policies. I'll tell you what, agric is the mainstay if the government invests in agriculture and education, because they go together. Because if you're not educated, honestly, you will not be able to know what agriculture is all about. You'll be doing the local agriculture, but you will not understand, because agriculture comes with agribusiness. You understand? You have to understand the business side of agriculture, then you have to understand the agriculture itself. Like in my organization, what we're trying to do is to fashion out a model which we're going to use in reaching out to the smallholder farmer.
Before we went on break, you were talking about government, you were talking about the place of agribusiness. I want to find out from you, the land tenure system in Nigeria today, how far or how much of a challenge can you say that is as far as the smallholder farmer is concerned? Because the smallholder farmer, should he continually remain small? I would have thought that in all enterprises, growth should a kind of be the mainstay.
Well, that's very good, but the Land Act use has to be re-evaluated, to be honest. Like giving back to my own state, I can talk from my own state, given what I know, I knew, and what I know now. Politics has actually crept in, and the scramble for land and stuff like that. So government needs to re-evaluate Land Act use, to put it properly, to acquire the land that is designated for farmers. You understand? If it is probably mapped out like this, very well, then the smallholder farmer will not have any problem, because you have lands prepared that he can go there, have a portion, a piece of land. He may even go up to 2-3 hectares of land and farm, and he will come up with something very good. And government, we have everything government controls. So this is what it is. These are the challenges that we're having. The lands that government had earlier procured, paid compensation and things like that, has been encroached upon. So what are you going to do about this?
By the people.
By the people. So it has to be a government that is very serious in trying to put agriculture right, that we have to readdress this, go back to it and tell these people, no, this land was meant for this, so you cannot encroach on it. You have to say, because it's government land, government paid compensations and stuff like that. You understand? So that is what it is.
Looking at those in agribusiness, you will talk to us a bit about that. And looking at the farmer, can you in any way agree with me or disagree with me? You're free to. Looking at that relationship, one seems to be shortchanging one. Am I right?
Farmer and the what?
The agribusiness person. You
Yeah,
come
of course.
to me, I have a fish pond.
I know.
You buy one fish for probably 2,000, and by the time it ends up at the market, that same 2 kg, 3 kg fish is going for 5,000 naira. Same with poultry and what have you.
You see, the middlemen are the ones making money. The farmers are not making money per se, because the outlet where they can market their products is not readily available.
How can we salvage the farmer?
Well, we can salvage the farmer through commodities board and such things. If you do this, it's going to really develop the smallholder farmer. Those that are doing poultry in little piecemeals and those that are doing fishery in little piecemeals. Actually, let me tell you something. The board controls these things. So you can only come there, give your stuff, the government values it properly and gives a tag to it. This is what the government does. So like that, the government will give value to the smallholder farmer, just like what Buhari attempted to do by closing the borders for rice to
But did it happen? Was there any impact?
Well,
you are in that sector. Share your thoughts with us, with our viewer. Closing the borders for close to 4 years, or probably more than that.
Yeah, more than that. About 6 years.
Not right now. Did it have an impact as far as, let's say, rice production is concerned?
Yeah, to some extent they had, to be honest.
Does the smallholder farmer have a voice?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't, because he doesn't have access to finances. One, he doesn't.
No, I'm talking about on the table where decisions are taken.
He doesn't, because they're not recognized. They are not completely. See, if they are recognized, even in the financial sector, there will be a provision for them. Do you understand? In the financial sector, there is no provision for them. I have attempted to get a soft loan for the smallholder farmer that will be farming 1 hectare, creating clusters That I can have like 1,000 people farming here in one place, which I will get a chunk of land, which I have acquired in Nasarawa State. And I've acquired one in Kogi State. You understand? One of my directors there, his parents have a chunk of land, over 500 hectares of land, that we are willing.
Is that just lying fallow?
It's lying fallow.
Why?
As a matter of fact, we have just, our organization has decided to take upon it to develop the place. So right now, we have started with like 4 hectares of land there because it's a forest. So we have to clear it. And land clearing is a lot of money.
Right.
So if you go to the bank now and ask the bank to give you money to come and do such clearing, the bank will tell you that they don't develop. You develop your own and come, I will give you money. Then, so who is developing who?
As we round up, where do you see the smallholder farmer in Nigeria in the next 5 years?
Well, I hope to God that the present government will look into the plight of the smallholder farmer. If it truly wants to change the narratives of this country and truly grow the economy of this country. Back in the days, we had the pyramids and things like that. So what stops us from having pyramids now? Because honestly, if you develop the smallholder farmer, in no little time, he will no longer be a smallholder farmer, but he will be a big-time holder farmer that will produce up to 30, 40, 50 metric tons of grains or whatever. Like you see me here, I farm yams. Like this very season, I made 4,000 heaps of yams. And I have a specific yam that the two people will call it bango. It's the sweetest species of yam. It's the only one I farm, in quotes. And I bring it to my directors, I bring it to them. Each time I'm coming from Benue, I bring it. And I hope that I'll bring you some one of these days too. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for